Some more injury news continues to pile up for the Pittsburgh Steelers. It was just reported that Minka Fitzpatrick suffered a broken hand in this week's game against Arizona Cardinals, and now it's been reported that Kenny Pickett injury to his ankle is not good, and he will be out for an extended period of time. So, there were some follow-up reports after that report from Gary Dulac by Adam Schefter. He stated that Steelers quarterback Kenny Pickett's ankle injury is expected to sideline him for a couple of weeks per league sources. And then another follow-up report from Gary Dulac. He says an update is Kenny Pickett will have surgery, a procedure done Monday on his injured ankle, and is expected to miss and be out 2 to 4 weeks. So the Steelers obviously have a quick turnaround game against the New England Patriots, and then Adam Schefter said that as the Steelers host the Patriots on Thursday night, Mitchell Trubisky is now expected to be the starter. So that's a quick update really quickly about the injury of Kenny Pickett. We knew it was bad when he didn't return to the game and he was in a walking boot on the sideline, but we just didn't know how bad it was. But the Steelers now continue to be dealt with a lot of injuries moving forward. Minka Fitzpatrick gets injured, Isaac Seumalo gets injured, Kenny Pickett gets injured, and now the Steelers are building off of injuries. Elandon Roberts also out with an injury. So as a quick turnaround comes on Thursday, it's going to be interesting to see how the Steelers deal with the game plan at quarterback with Mitchell Trubisky. Will it indeed be Mitchell Trubisky like Adam Schefter reports, or will the Steelers now turn to Mason Rudolph, who many fans want to see over Mitchell Trubisky because the last few years when Kenny Pickett has been getting injured, Mitchell Trubisky has been the one filling in for him, but he has not been doing a good job. He was paid $10 million per year to be the backup quarterback, and he just does not get the job done. So it's going to be interesting to see whether Mitchell Trubisky does start, if he does do bad within the first couple quarters, or stuff like that. Will the Steelers pull the plug on him and insert Mason Rudolph? It's going to be interesting to see what they do at the quarterback position moving forward, because the Steelers still are in a good spot right now in the conference. Right now, they're in 6th place in their conference and in a wild card spot. Believe it or not, even though they've been really bad this season on offense and have not been scoring points, they've still been winning games, even though they won this week. Even though they lost this week to a 2-10 Arizona Cardinals team, only put up 10 points, they're still in a wild card spot. And now moving forward without their quarterback, will they contain that spot? Will they lose it? Who knows? So far this season for Kenny Pickett in a sophomore year, it's kind of been worst case scenario, because to begin the season, he's been dealt with the Matt Canada hand, and many people were saying he is a kind of fixture of the Matt Canada offense, and his bad play is because of Matt Canada. And then Matt Canada gets fired, but Kenny Pickett's also been dealing with some injuries throughout the season as well, as we see him go out of a few games. But they fired Matt Canada, and then many people were saying, now we're going to get a look at Kenny Pickett without Matt Canada and see what he could do and show out and show that people that Matt Canada was the problem and he was not the problem. But then this week, when people were saying that now he finally gets his chance without the coordinator, he gets injured once again. He gets injured now, and now he won't be able to see if it was really Matt Canada's fault or was it really his and a combined effort of fault on the offense. This case is probably worst case scenario for the Steelers, because even moving forward, if you get to see Kenny Pickett play without Matt Canada as the offense coordinator, you get to see what he could really do as an offense and if he could run your football team, and then make a decision in the offseason whether you need to change quarterbacks, whether you need to draft a quarterback, or just look elsewhere. But now you don't really get that look at Kenny Pickett without Matt Canada to see if he could really do something in this offense to make that decision. Even though it's not expected that the Steelers obviously move off of Kenny Pickett after 2 years, that would probably not be a good case scenario for them to move off of Kenny Pickett. They probably want to stick with him. Even though that's probably the case, they probably didn't want to do that. It just doesn't give you that extra look at him, just in case if they did make that decision to move off, to look elsewhere. You don't really get to see Kenny Pickett in an offense that's not surrounded with a Matt Canada scheme. But now he's dealt with injury, and we don't know. One of the big critics of Kenny Pickett so far in his career, especially after his first year in his rookie season, has been his turnovers and just his decision making with the football. So last year, he finished the year with 9 interceptions, and many people thought, okay, he's a turnover prone quarterback. He doesn't know how to take care of the football. He also had many fumbles as well. But now this season, even though that was his biggest critic coming into the year, he's really showed he could contain and not turn over the football. So far this season, he's played 11 games and only turned over the football 4 times. And even though the Steelers' offense has been really bad, the reason why last year they were even more worse was because of the turnovers. And then that didn't help them. But this season, even though their offense has been bad, they have not been turning the ball over, which gives the defense a better position to play in, knowing that they don't have a short field against an offense. Even though the Steelers' defense has been showing out in some weeks, and they have been the key part of the Steelers, they having long fields to work with is a good sign. And that's what the Steelers were doing good with Kenny Pickett. And so far this year, like I said, Kenny Pickett, he's played in 11 games. He's completed 194 of 314 passes, which is a 61.8 percentage of completion. He has 6 total touchdowns. And like I said, 4 interceptions. But obviously you want to see that touchdown rate go up. The Steelers have not been successful on that. Kenny Pickett, he's also put up 2,000 yards passing. So this is all from the last 11 games. It didn't count this week, but obviously this week it's going to go up a little bit in terms of yardage and passes and stuff like that. But that's the last 11 weeks. So we got to see a sample size of him for 11 weeks. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying we haven't seen a sample size of what he could do, but obviously the Steelers would like to see him finish up the season and make a decision afterwards. But now you won't get to see it, and now it's either be Mitchell Trubisky moving forward, where he's turnover prone as well, which was the critic of Kenny Pickett heading to the season, even though that kind of went away. But he's turnover prone. Let's see if he starts, and if he gets pulled early, if he doesn't perform well for Mason Rudolph. But this is really worst case scenario for the Steelers at the quarterback position, and they continue to be dealt with a lot of injuries, and especially this week against the Cardinals, where they got a lot, especially to many of the starters on offense and defense. But with that being said, that's the end of this video. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below about this situation. Kenny Pickett missing the next 2 to 4 weeks, needed ankle surgery. How do you feel about this? How do you feel it will impact the Steelers and their upcoming schedule? Do you think they'll still end up making the playoffs, or do you think they'll be eliminated because of it? Let me know your thoughts, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel down below as well if you like serious content analysis reports. Like the video, turn on post notifications down below for the channel as well so you get notified whenever I post next year's video. I cover everything Pittsburgh Steelers, like this breaking news, and also film breakdowns of the Steelers games, also reactions. If you want to see everything, turn on notifications for this channel. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys all later. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.